Hello, everybody, and welcome to another one of Wickersoft's webcasts. We have a great topic for you today, moving your PMO to the cloud, why you can't afford to miss the wave. My name is Mike Otranto, and I'm a strategic account specialist at Wickersoft. I'm also joined on today's webcast with Doug Welsby, a senior account executive and PPM specialist. The line will not be open for questions, but feel free to use the chat feature. Anything we don't get to on the webinar, we will respond to via email. If for some reason you get distracted or pulled away, no need to worry. I will be emailing the recording and slide deck of today's presentation. I will now hand off the webcast to Doug Welsby. Doug?
Hey, great. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for your introduction, and welcome to the webinar, everyone. Again, my name is Doug Welsby. I'm an account executive with Wickersoft and a product manager based in Ottawa, Canada. Today, we'll be telling you more about Wickersoft and our offerings later in the presentation, but during today's webinar, as Mike mentioned, we'll be discussing moving your PMO to the cloud and why you can't afford to miss the wave. In today's webinar, we'll start with PMO challenges, evolutions, capabilities, and the benefits of having a digital PMO. We'll then transition to a demo of a digital PMO, and I'll showcase not only the Project Online application, but some other task and work management capabilities in the Office 365 platform, and also some of Wickersoft's digital PMO solutions, elements and applications that we've built ourselves. So let's start with a little levity around the subject of a digital PMO transformation. Many of the challenges I'm going to touch on today directly relate to one challenge in particular, and that's that PMOs often fail to understand their responsibilities to the project as well as the project's purpose. So understanding scope and requirements is completely different than understanding why the project is being initiated in the first place. If the project's end result fails to add value, the PMO has failed the organization as a whole. Another common challenge we've seen is inadequate staff or resources and the lack of executive buy-in and support for these projects. The right resources on the job have everything to do with project success. And the reasoning behind this challenge and why it exists is because ultimately someone or some organization within your corporation wants the results from that project now. So if you weigh the amount of time, effort, and costs you can accumulate in rework due to misaligned resource assignments, you'll probably find that postponing the project until you have the right support will not only get you to delivery sooner, but will also save your organization a lot of expenses in the long run. Sometimes this can seem a little counterintuitive. Many PMOs focus purely on reporting project performance, and in many cases delegate deciding what needs to be done to senior management. PMOs have to remember their role as advisors. They are there to adequately support upper management with analysis and recommendations, remembering that they are the source of expertise when it comes to projects. Additionally, running projects requires competent project leaders. Many PMOs are challenged with ensuring the development of these skills appropriately within the organization. Project management training and development is crucial to the PMO's success. Also, failure to support multiple stakeholders is one of the key reasons that organizations fail to often move beyond level 2 in PPM maturity. Defining all stakeholders up front, ensuring all of their requirements and needs are considered, is the only way to avoid scope creep, rework, and even doomed projects. As soon as you introduce another person into the mix, you can have an entirely different ballgame. So overall, the PPM maturity of the organization may also be at a level that's unable to effectively support the management of projects, programs, and portfolios. Resources are required to get work done, and these resources are necessary to successfully track initiatives. Now, it's more common for technology and tools to be simple, but over the years, that hasn't always been the case. Everyone in the organization must have a shared understanding of projects They must be able to use the technology successfully in order for projects to have the right information to make the right decisions. Centralizing all of your PMs in the PMO often turns the PMO into a big, expensive overhead function. Proving value is key for PMOs, and in some cases, a distribution of project managers across the organization residing in various teams, yet following the standards and governance of this single PMO can be a more successful model. And finally, the PMO's reporting line, or where it sits in the organization, may hinder its scope of influence and ability to affect change. These PMOs need the right support and the right authority to influence change. And with all the challenges that we've just discussed, there is that one constant that affects all of them, and that's change. We all know that technology has played a critical role in how businesses are run today, as we have essentially all become technology companies, no matter what industry you're in. We come from a past where technology progression was slow. We had time to think about our plans, make adjustments in the rare case that priority shifted, and move forward with minimal impact. Today, we're faced with continuous change, unpredictability, and rapidly changing environments. We have to be agile and react quickly to these shifts, or we'll simply get left behind. Constant change has become the new normal, but it's one of the biggest challenges for PMOs. The ability to accommodate these continuous changes, is one of the biggest benefits of a digital PMO. We'll talk a little more about digital PMOs shortly. So let's take a quick look at the evolution of the PMO and some of the lessons learned that have come from its progression. You might remember the days when the PMO's main job was to develop enough process to force structure and compliance so that projects were repeatable and predictable. Well, we just talked about change being the new norm, which has played a big role in moving process to the back seat. One size no longer fits all. So although some process is good, the processes have to be flexible enough to respond to change quickly. Mistaking consistent process for reliable results is a common mistake. Also, confusing delivery of IT with delivering value is another lesson to be learned. If you're running a hardware or software project, delivering the end product isn't enough. That product has to deliver value to the organization for the project to be a success. So there's a need to prioritize projects by value proposition and measure that value during and after delivery of the project. Ignoring resource capacity is still common today and has a big impact on project delivery. You can't create something from nothing, and you can't deliver a project without the resources appropriate to the work. It's a major constraint and should be considered a sizable risk should you be asked to move forward with a project while ignoring your resource limitations. Dependencies are also constraints. Many times there are projects going on across multiple departments that are linked together in some form or fashion. Ignoring the dependencies, running these projects independently of each other without visibility in different systems can lead to much bigger problems down the road. If IT is working on the hardware initiative for the next software release and the PMO is driving the software schedule, there's going to be a point where these two projects must be coordinated together. Failure to create a bottom-up program considering all dependencies is a lesson that has been documented all too often across PMOs. Also, no one wants to deal with a troubled project. But similar to a poorly behaved child, if your attention isn't directed to a solution, things can get out of hand pretty quickly. You can pretty much bet that ignorance will lead to high costs, bloated timelines, and a much bigger impact to the bottom line. Key performance indicators regarding the health of a project are important, and knowing that a project is troubled is very valuable. Failure to speak the language of the business. This is a big one. You must work towards common goals, understanding the business, their needs, their value goals, and it's the only way to deliver projects successfully. And finally, expecting the software alone to solve the problem is not an option. Software is intended to give your workforce the tools they need to be more productive, but your people are the ones who hold the innovation, creativity, and power to make things happen and empower change. Making sure you have the perfect mix of people, process, and technology is key to maximizing productivity. Connection is key. I didn't have this topic on our agenda, but I wanted to briefly touch on the many reasons why organizations set up PMOs in the first place. A study was done a few years back by PMI and Forrester, where they asked various PMO leaders what the primary focus was for their PMO. As you can see, it varies. The P in PMO can mean many things. It can mean portfolio, program, project, or even a combination of all of these. Make sure your organization knows what your PMO's purpose is, as expectations are hard to manage when no one knows what to expect. All right, let's touch on some of the key core functionalities and capabilities executed by a PMO. You'll notice on the left side of the blocks, you'll see the common capabilities that have been around for many years. Resource management, managing schedules, costs, team collaboration, etc. But over the years, as PMOs have evolved and project management has progressed, additional capabilities have been thrown into the mix. We've talked about change many times already, and here it is again. A tool must be agile. It must be able to accommodate constant change and shifts in your project environments. Work management is another one. You can't appropriately plan and manage your resources if you aren't including all of the work that impacts them. It is no longer just project tasks. There's work and tasks coming from many other systems and solutions in your organization, and you need to consider all of these when looking at all-up work management for your resources. Integration is a bit of a touchy subject. It sounds like a big word, and many organizations would rather keep systems segregated to avoid integration, but the reality is many times it's necessary. And even more often, there's a solution available that makes integration simple. Productivity will always be limited if people must go to multiple systems to find information, or even worse, enter data into multiple locations. Technology's come a long way, and many times what seems difficult is not difficult anymore. Integration could be very simple. In fact, simplicity is next on the list. There's no reason to accept complicated. Many times technology is complex, but that doesn't mean that the user experience has to be. User adoption is key for a successful PMO, and moving to a digital PMO can bring many benefits, noticeably the simplified user experience for your PMO members. And finally, automation. And the way I like to explain automation is this. Let's do some math. First, you have 10 employees. Each one of them takes 2 hours every week completing their timesheet, along with providing project status reports. That's 20 hours a week. Now let's say you automate one process, saving the same resources 1 hour per week. That's a saving of 10 hours per week times their monthly rate, 40 hours a month, at $30 an hour. We're close to $1,200 in savings per month for just these 10 resources. Now, how much will the solution cost that'll help you with this automation? Most likely way less than you just saved. Automation is a key capability you don't want to ignore. All right, this is my favorite part of the presentation. Let's take a look at a few of the benefits you'd receive by moving your PMO into the cloud. We already know that your project environments will be ever changing, so moving to the cloud will ensure that you're able to make decisions quickly in an environment that's always up to date with the latest technology. It'll keep you agile. How many times have you managed an entire project for a software update just to find out that 2 weeks later another patch is needed? Environments change. An online PMO can help you respond quickly and favorably to these changes. Scalability. There's many ways in which an online PMO can scale. Adjusting user count, adding functionality that will be based on the latest technology. You know, how many times have you added customization and then heard that your system is no longer supported because you built it on a version that's out of date? Connecting various user groups as the system is leveraged by more and more teams. Scaling is faster, easier to manage with an online PMO. A lower cost of ownership. You can get up and running with an online PMO with little to no upfront costs, as well as lower costs across the board for your long-term investment. PMOs can gain from the cloud by reducing unnecessary overhead costs such as infrastructure investments. An online PMO can allow for better governance and control as well. Adding process, workflows, and other structure to your environment is simple and instant, so changes will affect users across the board immediately. As we develop new challenges with everyday work, there's always an urgency to resolve issues immediately. A digital PMO allows you to implement solutions quickly while there's good momentum. Oftentimes, taking action now keeps the momentum going and delivers much faster results. Instead of worrying about infrastructure, software updates, and your PMO environment in general, you can focus on delivering projects and business value while your PMO environment is automatically updated in the background without impacting your resources or timeline. There are many ways to collaborate. As we all know, the more options we have, the more collaboration takes place. With a digital PMO, team members have many more options for collaborating, including online comments, social streams, and groups. The more people connect, the more productive we are. Finally, flexibility is key. A digital PMO is available on any of your devices, not just your desktop. It can be accessed from anywhere so that you can work whenever and wherever you choose. Wickersoft's digital PMO also provides access to other apps, allowing you to add other functionality to your environment without the need for development or a separate system altogether. And lastly, competitive advantage. You never have to worry about whether or not you're staying on top of the competition. You can ensure that you'll always be using the latest, newest, most cutting-edge technology available. If we look at Microsoft's offering of Project Online in the cloud, it's designed to be an end-to-end project and portfolio management solution to serve the needs of the PMO. That means from early on, from ideation all the way through demand management, portfolio selection and optimization, all the things that you would do to execute your projects, and then reporting and analytics you would need throughout. This is really designed to be a comprehensive solution that meets all of these requirements. In the cloud, Microsoft is now providing this as a service where they take care of all of the infrastructure, redundant data centers with all of the failover and reliability that you're looking for, as well as SLAs that guarantee more than 99.9% uptime. From a compliance perspective, all of the certifications and auditing that needs to be done for these data centers is there to meet the needs of any industry that's out there today. And the other cool thing that's available here is the context of Office 365 that many people are moving to for their business productivity tools. Project Online becomes part of your Office 365 experience, and you get to use the tools in Office 365 for collaboration and business productivity within the context of your project and portfolio management process. So once again, having that unified experience without separate, disconnected tools is something that's very, very valuable. To that end, Wickersoft provides OneConnect, which is a platform that really makes Project Online the project and portfolio management hub of information for your organization. OneConnect is a cloud-based, productized set of connectors that will actually connect your software development agile tools such as Visual Studio or Jira directly to Project Online. OneConnect will integrate your financial systems like Oracle or SAP, or your lighter weight planning tools like SharePoint and Office 365 Planner. It connects your ITSM tools or service management tools like ServiceNow or Microsoft Dynamics. The idea here is that you can execute in a variety of different tool sets, but still have common focus in your portfolio management and your PMO visibility and reporting up the chain to leadership. We'll touch on this a little bit today, but this is really the integration piece made easy in a productized way without having to build one-off custom connectors. So with that, let's transition to a demonstration of some of these concepts using the technology and the solution that we've talked about so far in the presentation. So I'll transition over to a demonstration environment, and we'll get started by looking at an example PMO digital workplace. So this is an example that we've built up to illustrate what a landing page or a home page for your digital workplace could look like. So in this sample environment, we see that you've got a number of different areas where you can select through to communicate with the PMO, with IT, with facilities. In this PMO digital workplace, you'll see here that we've got Yammer integrated directly for social media, for connectivity between team members. So if you want to exchange an ongoing stream of conversation using Yammer as that conversation base, you can set up multiple Yammer groups and discussion areas so that the team members can collaborate effectively amongst themselves, maintaining this ongoing communication stream. And this digital PMO workplace can act as a landing page with a variety of different access points for elements such as training. If you had a PMO university set up, that might link directly to PMI, for example, to other training tools that you have within your organization, training videos that you may have surfaced for the team to use. Down here, we see we've got an area where we can collect PMO documents. And then finally, all of the core capabilities around your PMO digital workplace, including new project requests, management of in-flight projects, organizational analysis, resource management, dashboards, etc., all available within this type of digital workplace. If we focus just on some of the core capabilities of the Microsoft Office 365 platform, as I open up the app launcher in the top left, here in Office 365, we see that we not only have Project available as one of these options to us, we have other applications available as well. So we see Teams, and we'll talk about that. If you're integrating with Dynamics 365 for service management, that's an area that's available to you from this app launcher, but also fully integrated with Project Online through our Wickersoft OneConnect solution. We'll take a look in a few moments at Power BI as a reporting solution for use within your PMO digital workplace and with Project Online. And again, all of these applications, including Yammer and your common Office applications, are available through this launcher app application, part of your Office 365 solution. So this PMO digital workplace that I'm illustrating here, this is an example that we've assembled for this demonstration by Wickersoft and built. I'll show you right now the new Project Home, part of Microsoft's official Project Online experience. So without all of the bells and whistles of that digital workplace launcher that I illustrated just now, this is an out-of-the-box experience from Microsoft when you deploy and install Project Online, so that any of the users, including the sample user, Daniel Williams, can take and view the recent projects that they've worked on or that they've accessed and favorite some of them to very quickly be able to navigate through and open up, for example, this social networking integration project directly from this Project Home Launchpad. So it's a little simpler to use with more focused areas within the Project Home than the standard Project Online launch page, which provides you a menu of access areas to other points within the application. But this new Project Home is designed to very quickly get you going and get you through to the projects that are important to you. Now, I mentioned that this is part of the Project Online experience, and it's known as the Project Home, but the product group does intend to introduce very near in the future new access capabilities within this Project Home area. So not just Project Online projects like we're seeing here, but projects that are being delivered via other applications by Microsoft, such as Visual Studio Online or Azure DevOps, or the Planner application could easily be accessed from this project home interface to get you started quickly with your projects and your needs. So I'll open up the project online homepage in our demonstration environment. Let me very quickly drill through to and show you what the project center looks like. So we're here to talk about project and work management within the context of a digital PMO. And this is one of the key benefits, easily recognizable, of having a common data store and a common digital project management office, in that we have a common way of accessing and looking at all of the different projects being delivered within your organization. So this project center interface has a variety of different views of the projects that are ongoing within your organization, with different capabilities to group and categorize projects, maybe by their current state or which program they're part of or who's delivering these particular projects, along with health indicators that are easily understandable to show you the progress of these projects, whether or not they're green, yellow, red, other indicators to show you the status and progress of them throughout their life cycle. If you're working in a standalone fashion with a project management tool such as Microsoft Project Desktop, sharing this information gets very difficult. But with an integrated online environment such as Project Online and a digital PMO, this social networking integration project that I might be managing with a desktop management tool such as Microsoft Project becomes visible in these interfaces and allows you to very quickly drill through and look at the status of that schedule. So I've navigated either perhaps from this project home interface, where I opened up my social networking integration project directly, or I've gone through the project center and clicked on that project to open it up here. The effect is that I can very quickly access the schedule and the information in this project, even if I'm not the project manager myself. So as the PM, I can still carry on managing that schedule right here in Project Desktop. This is the project professional view of that project plan, complete with all the tasks, task assignments, work in a timeline view of that project. Or within our digital PMO, I can view that through a web browser and look at the details of the schedule, the tasks, the work that's ongoing. Now, as I said, anyone can drill through to this view and look at this schedule as long as they have the right security privileges to do so. So of course, there is a security model in play. Only resources with appropriate access get to view these project plans and get to see this information. Of course, it is protected from prying eyes so that you control who gets to see what and what information against which projects. So this particular project, as I showed you in the Project Center, is currently in its requested phase, or it's being initiated. So as you deploy your project digital PMO and you're thinking about the process that you have within your organization, as you grow and mature and develop perhaps workflow processes and approaches to requesting and initiating new projects, planning them, executing them, and then monitoring and controlling them later on, Project Online is there to support that approach with a complete workflow engine integrated within that Project Online environment for project and resource and work management. If I go back to that Project Center, I want to talk about integration points with other tools within your organization as well. So here I have that social networking integration project. It's a Microsoft project being managed within Project Online. And as I illustrated earlier, it has a full schedule, set of resources assigned to it, and work that's ongoing. But what if some areas of this project are being delivered by a team that perhaps doesn't need the full comprehensive capabilities of Microsoft Project? What if they want to use a lighter weight, more agile tool for doing their planning? And so one of those tools is, as you'll see in the control ribbon right here, Microsoft Office 365's Planner application. So this social networking integration project that we have has some waterfall style tasks that are being delivered as part of the All Up project, and then certain areas within this project that are being managed within Planner and delivered in a more agile fashion through that tool. So if we look at the schedule, we'll see we have some tasks such as this series of scope activities, these series of analysis and software requirement activities. Those activities are actually being managed within the Planner environment. So here's Office 365 Planner. We have a series of work buckets that have been defined: scope, software requirements, design and development, along with tasks on those project activities assigned to various resources with various states of completion or progress within them, including tasks that have been completed in certain stages. All of this data and all of this information that's being managed here within Planner is being fully integrated with our Project Online environment by Wickersoft's OneConnect tool. So your digital PMO, as you transition to the cloud, doesn't necessarily mean one size fits all with Microsoft Project Online. It could involve adoption of, I'll say, more agile tools or less comprehensive tools, lighter weight work management types of approaches, such as is delivered by Office 365 Planner, and yet they remain fully integrated with this Project Online environment for all up reporting the status of the project, full visibility across all of the activities that are happening. Finally, these projects that we're managing within the Project Online environment might not just be project schedules or planner activities. We might also be managing projects in a full, comprehensive, agile development environment. So Visual Studio, Jira, other tools that are available in the market can also be integrated with your Project Online activities. So we see here this Fabricam project that we're working on. We have access to that Fabricam project through Visual Studio or perhaps the Jira application as well. So those are both approaches that are available using Wickersoft's OneConnect solution as well. So I'll show a new view in this project schedule, and that'll be our Visual Studio Online sprint summary, where we see that we have work within this project being managed within Visual Studio, broken down into epics, features, and stories, such as supporting customers using mobile, a mobile account update feature that's needed. We have a story we're taking on called an easy-to-use responsive form. Well, right over here in Visual Studio Online, or what is now known as Azure DevOps, we're seeing exactly that same structure. That epic, that feature, that story, and those tasks are being managed by that agile team, meaning they are not forced to change tools, can carry on with their development activities in their tool of choice. And yet back here in Project Online, we have full visibility into those agile delivery tasks in Project Online, can report on the all up progress within this project, once again, without forcing those teams to retool and adopt something new as we move to a digital PMO. So we focused quite a bit on projects so far. Let's take a look now at resources and resource management within a Project Online context. So much like the Project Center shows us views and information about our projects, the Resource Center, it focuses on the enterprise resource pool, the list of resources that are available for assignments to work and activities in your projects. And you'll see in this view that we've classified and categorized our projects by their position role. So we have business analysts, developers, DBAs, etc. And as a resource manager for a team, or as an individual searching for an appropriate resource to assign to my project, I can use the Resource Center to view information about these resources, including their capacity and where they're currently assigned. So in a real simple view, as I drill through this team of resources and look at the different projects that they've been assigned to, I can see very quickly that Amy has been assigned to several different projects, including this partner help desk. And here's the work activities that she's been assigned to, complete with a grid view and details of those task assignments, so you can fully understand where this particular team resource, Amy Alberts, has been assigned. We also get full capacity planning views, showing us, for example, resource utilization for this team, resource utilization across multiple projects, and the full details of remaining availability and work resource assignments. So there's a full resource management functionality and capability within this digital PMO environment within Project Online. As you'll see later, we also have comprehensive reporting views above and beyond what's available just in the core out-of-the-box features here of Project Online around project and resource management. So as an individual user, a member of that digital PMO, one of the questions you'll have is, what am I supposed to be doing today? What am I working on? And as I mentioned earlier, automation around submission of timesheets or project status reports is also key to getting value out of a digital PMO. So as a team member, a resource working in Project Online, if I look at a timesheet view or a time tracking view, we can collect comprehensive timesheets from our resources to help illustrate where they were supposed to be working, what work was planned, and what work they completed during their work week, automating that collection of data and effectively eliminating that requirement for a Friday morning status meeting where you go around the table and ask everybody what they did, take down some notes, jot that down, and then go back to your office as the project manager to record that. The resources in your teams can recognize very quickly that they're on specific projects with specific task assignments, and as you'll see here, work that's been planned for them during the week, and the ability to go in and update their actual hours. You'll also notice at the top of this timesheet, administrative time capture that's a capability of the Project Online solution. So in this case, you could default, for example, a few key items, commonly used administrative type activities, and within the context of a project management environment, plan your vacation and log actual hours so that in the end, as you submit your update, you know the total that you worked during that entire work period, including project and non-project administrative type activities. And then finally, collaboration amongst project members, thinking now about the project manager themselves and all of those team members, that's also critical and important to successful delivery of projects. So not only do we need to think about work assignments and task assignments, we should be examining other elements that are critical to the life cycle and successful delivery of projects. So each and every one of our projects in our digital PMO workspace, including this VoIP project, cross-delivered across Project Online and Visual Studio, can have a team collaboration site such as this one delivered by the Microsoft SharePoint platform. Here we're able to focus on and deliver key documents for the project itself, view a project summary, including a timeline view to show us the progress within this project lifecycle. And as you see in the left-hand navigation area, handle and mitigate issues, risks, deliverables, and other elements that are important to this project, such as tracking the objectives, tracking the key stakeholders, maybe managing lessons learned, and finally, critical to all of these, doing status reporting across the life cycle and throughout the monitoring controlling phase of project delivery. So this VoIP phone project site is available to all team members. It focuses not just on tasks and resources and work assignments, but all other elements critical to the successful delivery of that project. So far we've talked about the digital workspace, Project Online, other tools available to you for work management, such as Office 365 Planner, Visual Studio, the integration that we're seeing here using SharePoint. But now let's talk about another integration tool, what I like to call an information consolidation type interface, and that's Microsoft Teams. So you've probably heard, if you've been to almost any Microsoft presentation in the last year, you've probably heard this word and heard Microsoft representatives speak about Teams. And Teams can help you pull together that information and really function as a team within not only your PMO, but within other work functions or verticals, different types of objectives within your different corporate environments. So in addition to what you would expect out of things such as Skype for Business, which is chat, and the ability to communicate with others using instant messaging, the ability that you would expect within other tools such as Microsoft Exchange and Outlook to manage meetings, within Teams, we can set up collaboration channels, such as this one that we're seeing here, the team for PMO and Teams integration, or dedicated teams for example, that social networking integration project, or that VoIP phones or Fabricam project that we looked at. So here's a sample PMO and Teams integration team, where we have different channels dedicated to the project management office and the core team there. So we can very quickly bring that team together, enabling chat, enabling a wiki, enabling file integration, and enabling integrated reporting right within that team channel and distributed via this Microsoft Teams solution. Our project managers channel might look a little different, with focus on projects, approvals, time off, issues and risks. The resource managers channel could focus quickly on capacity planning and resource engagements, things that we looked at within Project Online. We can bring that to the surface, consolidate that, and expose it very nicely through this Microsoft Teams environment. Here's our social networking integration project. We've got the schedule, we've got SharePoint integration, Power BI reports, and look at this, right within Teams, there's that planner plan. So not only is this team being delivered in Project Online, not only can some of the agile activities happen within Planner, we can also consolidate that information and expose it quite nicely, again, through Teams. So finally, just to close, we'll look at Power BI as a reporting tool. Now, as you saw and noticed earlier in that Project Center and in the Resource Center, there's out-of-the-box views, dashboards, reports that are available about your projects and about your resources. But of course, like I said with Teams, if you've been attending any of Microsoft's presentations for the last several years, you will have not only heard of Teams, but of course, Power BI. And so Power BI is a great tool for surfacing rich reports, rebuilding them on a scheduled basis, targeting the information, and then allowing and permitting almost self-service business intelligence reporting, like I'll show you in a moment with some of the integrated question and answer capability within the tool. So in this Power BI homepage that I've built, where I've surfaced and exposed some of my favorite views, I'll look at the out-of-the-box Project Online dashboard that Microsoft has produced to go with Project Online. So this is a Power BI content pack integrated completely with Project Online, showing all of the out-of-the-box attributes or objects within this Project Online environment. So if we look at projects, resources, issues and risks that are being managed, we also have views in here of your overall portfolio, your overall resource assignments, etc. Within this tool, we can very quickly drill through and open up reports and interactive dashboards showing us the information about our projects. So if I wanted to focus in on and show my PMBOK projects, these reports are very interactive. I can click through and add the agile projects to this report as well. I can go in and look at, for example, resource availability reports, or I can see issues and risks across my entire portfolio, all consolidated in these easy to use, right out of the box types of dashboards. And I mentioned self-service BI. So one of the capabilities of Power BI and delivered via these sorts of dashboards is self-service questioning. So a user could not only use those Power BI dashboards and reports that we saw in that report, but they could go in and ask their own question about data. So this isn't easy to use immediately without some sort of understanding of what you're looking for. But once you've examined those Project Online dashboards and seen that we have projects, resources, cost information, assignment information, etc., we can start by structuring questions and saying things like, show me maybe my project. And as I start to type the word project, you'll see the hints pop up and show us some of the elements that we could focus on. So if I say project name and, what else can I add? Maybe I'm interested in project cost, and we see that very quickly. So, maybe I don't want all of these projects. So I'll say for projects over, what happens if I type in $500,000? All of a sudden that project report is very, very customized now. We're only showing project names and the costs for projects over $500,000. Now you'll notice on the far side of the screen, I can add visualizations and fields to this. So I could open up that visualization area and change the look and feel of this report. Or once you get used to this, you could just simply say as a pie chart, and it'll change that visualization immediately on the fly. Now this sort of self-service Q&A for users allows them to very quickly examine the data that they need, pin these visuals, as you'll see here, to their own dashboard, and then also share these out perhaps with others in their team. And when they're ready, if they wish, they can return back to the management within the digital PMO. They could go back to IT. They could go back to someone charged with maintaining these dashboards, make some changes and modifications and additions to them using some of those reports and some of that data that they've developed using their own self-service BI with that Q&A type of feature. It's a great capability in these Power BI reports, all useful for surfacing that data around projects, resources, work assignments, etc. All right, that's it for the demo. We're almost going to wrap up. We're going to wrap up in just a moment. I just want to talk about Wickersoft ourselves very quickly, who we are, how we got that name, and then we'll let you go well ahead of the on the hour deadline for the end of this webinar. So Wickersoft, the name looks a lot like Microsoft. It's because we were a joint venture with Microsoft in 2002. So Wickersoft was initiated by Microsoft as they sought to develop an outsourced company. We have a global footprint. We focus on consulting, business applications, managed services, global support and staffing. We're about 6,500 people globally with a key focus here in North America. You'll see where our offices are distributed on project and portfolio management. So we're a Microsoft global partner, certified 5 times gold in project and portfolio management, collaboration and content, cloud productivity, the cloud platform itself, and of course in messaging as well. So we're a certified solution provider, part of the Microsoft Project Partner Advisory Council. We have a number of individuals that work within Wickersoft who are Microsoft P sellers, recognized by Microsoft for our consistent ability to deliver on Microsoft platform applications. We have a variety of offerings across that Office 365 platform, starting with Power BI and Azure applications and solutions, and focused on PPM, agile portfolio management, that digital workplace, which we spoke about extensively today, project services automation in the Dynamics 365 family, and of course, field and service management as well. So that's it for our webinar. Next steps for you. If you wish, please reach out, talk to our Wickersoft North American sales team via this email address, nasales@wickersoft.com. We'd be happy to work with you and set up for your organization a personalized one-on-one demo. And if you're interested, we can focus and help you with a free Project Online trial and an assessment and roadmap for your organization capabilities around a digital PMO using Project Online. We've got more coming. We have on-demand and upcoming webinars, all available here at www.wickersoft.com/webinars. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Mike. Mike, are there any outstanding questions in the Q&A? Anything we need to address before we wrap up the meeting?
Hey, Doug. No, I don't see any questions in the queue, but I think they know that they can just shoot us an email and we can answer questions that way.
Great. Okay. Well, thanks for your patience and your time, everyone, today. We appreciate you attending this webinar. Mike will distribute the copy of the slides, and if you've got any follow-up questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with us. Thanks very much.